ketogenic diet is all the rage recently. It's been endorsed by everyone from the Hollywood elite like Halle Berry to world-class athletes like LeBron James. Biohackers and Silicon Valley venture capitalists are using it as a way to boost their mental clarity and productivity. And average Joes and Janes across the globe have made some astonishing claims about how the ketogenic diet has helped them to drop pounds, lose inches, and reverse chronic conditions like Alzheimer's and diabetes, and even some forms of cancer. But in spite of all the hype surrounding keto, a lot of people still don't really know what it is and how it works. Now, in this series, we'll unpack some of the most common questions and objections to the keto diet so that you can begin to make a decision on whether or not this way of living is right for you. Now, today, we're just going to discuss the basics. We're going to tackle a couple of the most common questions that people have when they're just starting out exploring what it takes to live the ketogenic lifestyle. Questions like, what is keto? How does it work? And what are the benefits of a ketogenic diet? The keto diet gets its name from the term ketosis, which is a state that your body enters when it starts burning ketones as its primary source of fuel. Our bodies are complex machines. They require a lot of energy to power the biological processes necessary for life. Now, to power this machine, your body can use one of two fuel sources. It can use glucose, which is primarily derived from carbohydrates, or it can use ketones, which your liver synthesizes from fat. Now, it should come as no surprise that most of us in the Western world function primarily off of glucose. Our bodies prioritize the consumption of glucose, and since the standard Western diet is so carbohydrate rich, the vast majority of us never experience the effects of a body fueled primarily by ketones. In order to keep up with the amount of carbohydrates you consume, your body is constantly pumping out insulin to shuttle glucose from your blood and into your muscles, fat, and liver. Now, depending on your specific diet and your genetics, over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, and that's a precursor for diabetes and a whole slew of other metabolic diseases. Now, by contrast, the ketogenic diet is a low-carb, high-fat diet. By reducing the amount of carbohydrates and cranking up the amount of fat that we consume, we allow our bodies to go into a state called nutritional ketosis. In this state, our bodies burn through the available glucose and start processing ketones as a primary source of fuel. Once you're in ketosis, some amazing things start to happen. Talk to anybody who's been on the keto journey for a while, and you're likely to run into lots of stories of people who have lost significant amounts of weight, experienced profound mental clarity, and reversed the clock on a ton of different diseases. Now, to understand how to achieve a ketogenic diet, you have to understand macronutrients. There are three macronutrients: carbohydrates, protein, and fat. A standard Western diet consists of about 60% carbohydrates, 15% protein, and about 25% fat. The keto diet, on the other hand, is low carb, moderate protein, and high fat. That translates to about 5% carbohydrates, 25% protein, and 70% fat. Now, achieving that amount of fat in your diet forces you to challenge everything that you thought you knew about the role that fat has to play in a healthy lifestyle. Now, this can be a little bit nerve-wracking at first, but study after study has shown that the claims that the consumption of saturated fat leads to heart disease were not well-founded. And just a little bit of digging will show you that the studies that we based our national dietary guidelines on were riddled with problems, and the conclusions that they came to were shaky at best. But in recent years, journalists have been catching up with the science. One of the best known examples that I can point you to is a Time magazine cover article. It was titled "Eat Butter. Scientists labeled fat the enemy. Why they were wrong." Okay, so now you've gotten your head wrapped around the idea that fats aren't going to kill you and that you should be consuming more of them. Now it's important to distinguish among those fats because not all fats are created equal. Now on keto, we will happily eat saturated fats like butter and coconut oil and animal fats and monounsaturated fats like olive oil. Now polyunsaturated fats like canola oil and safflower oil are on the no-fly zone for keto, despite the fact that many on a traditional diet consider them to be heart healthy. Now, the same goes for the universally despised trans fats. Now, the carbohydrate target on keto can also be challenging. Most people need to stay under 30 grams of carbs in order to stay in ketosis. Many people on the Western diet are consuming more than 10 times that much. So staying under 30 grams of carbs requires some vigilance. There are hidden carbs everywhere. Especially nefarious are the carbs hiding in seemingly healthy foods like jerky or yogurt or dried fruit. You also got to watch out for condiments and beverages. Now, some might be surprised to know that the keto diet calls for only a moderate amount of protein. This is because, unlike fat, protein can actually be converted into glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. Now, that being said, there's some disagreement within the keto camp about how concerned we should be about this. There are some who would say that consuming more proteins and leaner proteins might actually force your body to tap more into stored fat versus relying on dietary fat to maintain ketosis. So the thought goes, if you're looking to lose weight, you might want to look at a higher protein allocation. Now, keto is also a diet that's best done with a whole foods approach. Things like grass-fed steaks, eggs, bacon, fish, avocados, and even cheese, if your body can tolerate it, are all very popular keto foods. Leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables are perfect complements to any keto meal. That said, not all whole foods make the cut. Starchy vegetables and sugary fruits like sweet potatoes or bananas can knock you out of ketosis in a single serving. So those are the basics. It's important to do your own research before you decide to start your own journey. There's still a lot to know in terms of what to expect your first couple of months on keto. Remember, the ketogenic diet is a lifestyle, and contrary to a lot of misinformation that's being perpetuated out there, keto is not a diet that you take on short term when you're looking to lose a few pounds before spring break, or you're desperately trying to cram yourself into a tux for your buddy's wedding. The ketogenic diet, more than anything, is about understanding your body and understanding the impact that the things that you put in your body has on it. Everybody's keto journey is a little bit different, so make sure you do your own research so that you understand how the keto diet could impact somebody with your specific medical history and genetic predispositions. In the meantime, just keep checking back here on Project Reboot for some more keto tips, some delicious keto recipes, and some much needed encouragement.